Hey, I just landed in Idaho to check out some real estate, and I can't believe I read what Governor DeSantis is up to. It reminds me a lot of what Newsom was up to when inflation was 7 to 8% in California, which was sending stimulus checks to people making up to $500,000. Families making up to $500K actually got stimulus checks in October of 2022. Now, of course, some people like to argue, oh, well, that's California giving back taxpayer money, but then the real question becomes maybe California is either taxing too much or not spending enough on their infrastructure, i.e. water, or schools, or crime, San Francisco. But this video is about DeSantis and what DeSantis is up to now. So apparently Ronnie D is a little upset that Florida has $53 million invested in Anheuser-Busch, ticker BUD, and the stock's down about 11% since April, while Coors Light is up about 30% this year and up about 20% since April. And he's a little upset because of, well, Anheuser-Busch's decision to advertise with, obviously, the trans activist Dylan Mulvaney, which by now you've probably already heard about. We don't have to go super detailed into that. But since then, Bud Light sales have been down by varying accounts, somewhere between 20 to 30%. Some say even up to 5% in certain periods. Others argue that, hey, well, while those sales might be going to Coors Light, the same amount of people who maybe aren't buying Bud are offset by people who now do buy Bud Light as a meme or a joke. Who knows? But either way, Ron DeSantis is now spending taxpayer money to investigate Anheuser-Busch to see if they're violating their fiduciary obligations to shareholders by advertising in a woke manner. Now, some people are going to argue, hey, this is great. Ron DeSantis is going to fight the woke agenda. Others will say, really? Is that what we should be focused on in Florida? And is that really how you want to set up a national campaign? That is, a company makes what was probably going to go down as a stupid mistake in advertising, and now you're going to leverage taxpayer money to conduct an investigation into a company's advertising mistake. And that's the foundation on which you're building a presidential campaign. When we should be asking, why are homeowner insurance prices now 3 or 4x in Florida? What are we going to do about the rising flood levels and flood issues and loopholes that insurance companies inflict upon homeowners in Florida? What are we going to do about the lack of trade workers throughout the nation, especially in Florida, because our schools aren't that great? I actually thought Ron DeSantis had some really good chances when, last year and a year before, we actually saw DeSantis do some things that other states weren't, like requiring financial education in schools. I ran for that when I ran under that premise when I ran for governor in California in 2021, and in early 2022, we saw DeSantis sign something into law requiring some form of financial education classes prior to graduating high school. That's the kind of stuff I can get behind, and I think anybody can get behind that. I think both Democrats and Republicans can get behind that. But this, to me, sounds like either you suck at investing, or you're a little crybaby about having lost money, or you're just trying to make headlines, and in my opinion, these are pretty negative headlines because you're falling behind in the polls to Donald Trump, and even there are now reports from The Hill just this morning that Tim Scott is sneaking up on DeSantis. Who would have thought that would have ever happened? Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the links down below, and I'll keep you updated with all the madness going on. See ya.